Hello everyone. So I'm back with the Aimcat 2311 analysis. Before the analysis, we have launched one course of 349 on the complete algebra and PNC revision. This would include everything, and this would be for all those students who want to increase their marks in the algebra and PNC. So if you are interested, you can watch the previous video. Let's start Aimcat 2311 analysis. As always, we will first start with VRC. है ना? What VRC is and what type of passages was there, and is there anything different or not. So as far as VRC is concerned, four passages were there. Four passages were there, and then VA was there. Then VA was there. So if I talk about the four passages which came, one was on the games and sports. One was on the economics and its limitations in today's world. There was other two, and let me remember. There was one on the space land and the property rights, and there was one other two. There was one another one. So these four passages, I personally didn't found any one of that to be very hard. You can go sequence wise in the exam. There is nothing to worry about, and you can also focus on these type of exams to have four RCs in your bucket list. So who have those who have been doing the three RCs on the regular basis in the normal mocks, you must go for the four RC in this mock. Many of you had not, many of you haven't, but why? The reason is that you have made a cycle, or you have made made an assumption that you will gonna about attempt three RCs in the mock, and that same is reflected in your mock attempt. No matter what the passages are, you always go for the selection and you choose three out of four. And after choosing three out of four, what you do? You go for those fours only. You go for those fours only. So in that case, in those case, what happens? In those threes only, in those threes only. In that case, you are missing on easy things. You are miss on easy things. So you have to change this strategy. You have to change this strategy. So in any quant VRC DLR, you should not have a preconception or preconceived notion of your attempts. Your attempts. So, for example, in these all four RCs, there were at least three, or if not three, two questions which were easy to moderate type. So there is hardly any. I don't say even three questions are very tough. There was not very difficult questions in these RCs, and one can easily attain good marks from these RCs. As far as VA is concerned, uh, para summaries were somewhat lengthy and tricky. One PJ was tricky, and the rest are good. Odd one out was also on the moderate side, not very tough. So VA was as usual, and you will score as usual. You are scoring the VA, not anything exceptional to be here. But on the VAR, on the RCs part, you should focus on the four RCs by now and make it a habit to not have any preconceived notion. It's not always about the marks that you are receiving in the on the three RCs, but it should be the reason that why you are missing on the one RC. And that might be the case that if you read one RC and if you found it very hard, or you will found it easy. So in the case of easy, you can attempt at least two questions, I believe, that is correctly, or net correct, there would be at least two questions or 5-6 marks. In the hard thing, what you can do, you can just attempt the one easy questions. I hope one easy or moderate question would be there, so again, you are having a +3 here. Try to understand. So just my viewpoint is that don't miss on the easy or hard things just because you have a preconceived notion. So if you are literally out of time in this MCAT, then it's not an issue to worry about. It's okay. But there was some chances or opportunities which might lead to you to have a complete goal of attaining the four RCs, completing the four RCs in this MCAT 231. So VA was not on a very difficult side for sure. Let's discuss about the DILR. Different people have different views. So let's discuss all of them one by one. So for the DILR, there was first set. First set was about first set was about depreciation value and those things. This is a four question set. Then there was a the last set of the four question was basis on the somewhat arrangement. I don't remember it. Then there was a sixth question, and there was again a sixth question. One was a scatter plot diagram where the axis origin and the label of axis were not given. And there was another set of the family relation set. Most of the students uh, are not familiar with these type of sets, but it's okay. The cat hadn't given this type of sets in the past year. In the past year, the cat hadn't been. Okay, the four question set was Venn diagram set, very easy set. Basis on the data was given on the field, and the data was asked on the field only. So um, the required sequence should be, or the level of difficulties. This is the first set to be attempted. It was easy but tricky. Tricky. Why I'm saying it tricky? The questions was tricky, and you have to be good at solving or seeing the data. And the questions could be tricky or wrong for many of you. This was the set where you don't have to do any work except the calculations, and the calculations was also not very hard. So second should be this. Second should be or must be this. Then I come to the third set. Many people might have uh, fallen for this one, but in my view, if you are not very comfortable or if you haven't done a lot of things on the family relations, this should not be the third set. You have to, this could be the third set, but you have to make a decision whether to go for this one or this one. So take 1 to 2 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes to decide. And the third set could be this or this. This was not a very difficult set. If the point hit you, and if the point hit you, this would not be very difficult. But if that didn't hit you, then it would be quite challenging for any one of you, है ना? For any one of you. Again, for this one, I don't think that there was any point to be hit, because as far as I could have drawn the conclusion, I was just getting that there could be many possibilities, so I didn't want to fall into those possibilities. So 3 and 4 was completely a subjective choice. I wouldn't put my personal views on that. Now let's come to the quant. Uh, so again, the Aimcat is famous for the not bad quant, but somewhat different quant, not different quant. Obviously, you should not bother about this quant, because as compared to 2312, the quant of this mock 2311 was not even relevant, was not even matching the cat level. The questions were completely different. Even in the time and work questions, there were stories. There was no TSG question. There was one very easy geometry question. So there was many questions regarding the substitution. So what learnings, again my focus would be learnings. What learnings could can we take, है ना? Can we take? So if you go for analysis, most of the questions could be done by the substitution method, here. So this is the first learning. Second learning is the irrelevant question or the different question will provide you some good approach. Obviously, when you see the solutions, don't fall for the complete solution. Try to get different approaches from that solution. And overall you should see the percentile that reflects that how easily you could handle the different quant, because there is no saying the cat can also give anything. So quant could be very different, though it is a very rare chance. But no one knows that what could happen, that because the cat setter also knows what type of trend, what type of paper they have to make. But there are persons that want to make some fun of the paper, or that want to do something different with the paper. So there could be anything, but we should not bother about that right now. So right now focus is to get learnings as to compete with others. So if you are receiving a good percentile, that means you have done a very good job, and you should pat yourself for that, right? So let's see what overall scenario should be here. So in the VRC, 25 plus marks is something which you should aim for. This is the bare minimum, this is the just minimum. In the DLR, as many students found it very difficult, but 16 marks, 16 plus marks is very low, very low. Because after completing these two sets are very easy sets. I should change it. 20 plus marks is the one that you should aim. That is very bare minimum. And the quant, uh, 15 plus marks is the bare minimum. 15 plus marks is the bare minimum, because 15 plus marks means just 5 questions. I can tell you which 5 questions could be that. One is geometry question. One is the question where there are two statements, and you have to answer the question with the two statements, the income and expenses, and you have to tell about the savings, right? You have to tell about the savings. The next question was the weights question. That was very easy. And after that, you could have time and work was indirectly algebra question. I don't expect to solve you that, but that could be considered in those 5 choices. There was one question where you have to just put the values, and you can solve that question, the 2x minus 4 mod x minus 4 minus 1, this type of question. Then there is a question 27 power x plus 27 1 minus x, I think something like this. This should also be solved. This is a very easy question, and there were some questions that were trickier, and there were some questions that were very easier. So overall 25 plus 20 45, and 45 plus 50 60 is the bare minimum. 60 is the bare minimum you should aim for. Every student should aim for. If you are below 60, try to get here, and then we will focus on more marks. And for those who have done very bad in quants, let's forget the quants for the time being, because this quant is something which I don't expect from the one whose quant is very weak, or who are not good at quant but good at other sections. So from those, uh, for those people, if you are having 25 plus 20, that is 45 marks from DLR and VA combined, then you are good. Don't feel anything to bother about, you know. So this is the overall scenario. We will meet in the next mock. Till then, thank you and bye bye.